Yeah.
Hello, I'm recording this a day before my 19th birthday. I was 18 for 3 years and just so happened to be given the permission to turn 19. And this is not an original idea. I kind of just wanted to talk. I'm curious. I'm really afraid of not doing what I want and thinking back to it like 3 years from now and then sulking about it. And I've made progress since like the early pandemic. I just haven't been making much progress as I want to because I'm just super comfortable with the everyday life that I live, and it's just like the same routine. I go to work. No, that's it. So I just wanted to ask myself a couple of questions from the future, which is I guess 18 is not a good enough age to ask these questions because it's only 2 years from now. But a lot can change in 2 years. That, or I'm going to answer it at 22. So, 21-year-old Christian. Let me introduce myself. I am who you think I am. The self-obsessed, somewhat narcissistic, and insecure guy that has been carrying around mental baggage because you thought you were so invincible to mental health struggle until your junior year of high school. 18 at the moment, turning 19 tomorrow. I'd never liked birthdays until 2019 where it was like made special, and now I could still care less. I'm living in the Samuel apartment that I've lived in for my entire life. The space has changed. I could show you the setup at the moment that I have. This is the setup you're rocking with at the moment. You have Audacity recording right there. So you have this because you have not bought a tripod yet. There's your cat. How is your cat? How is Lola doing? Lola is doing the same thing as she always does, which is sleep, eat, and do whatever. Look at that. She's curious now. You have your good old... If this would fucking focus. I don't know how to operate this camera anymore. Have you learned how to operate the camera better? This is your Focusrite. Fuck. A neighbor is knocking on your door. Dear neighbor, still fucking do that while you're trying to do something? Anyways, before my program is interrupted, you have your good old Audio-Technica headphones that you blew a paycheck on, along with this interface, which has been on its last legs for the last few months, and you didn't bother to return it because it just was too much and you're putting off a lot of things. How are you doing with those? This is your room. This is where you sleep. This is your room. You have a shelf full of CDs that you bought accumulated over the years. Here's a painting that you were gifted for your 18th birthday during the worst years of our lives. Is that still up? No doubt it will. No doubt it won't be. Here's your guitar. Here's a guitar that you've got for as a gift from your father. Do you own any other instruments? Have you learned any instruments? Have you picked up the piano, if anything, because you still want to learn that? You bought a classical guitar for yourself as a gift for yourself because you were having such a garbage ass week. How is that doing? Do you still have that? Do you play that? Have you learned anything new for that specific guitar? Because this one is a novelty. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Your room is a fucking mess. Have you finally sorted it out? Like, come on. Can this camera focus too? Can you do anything? So, for my first question, how are you? Like, genuinely, like, what's the mood? Right now, you're approaching your sophomore year of college. You absolutely hate it and you wish there was a plan B, but you have to stick with it because it's the only stable thing that's going to not make your parents hate you. How are you doing with college? Have you done anything else to try and get out of that? Have you dropped out? Please tell me you dropped out for a good reason. How much of yourself have you gotten over? At the moment, you find a lot of struggle in trying to keep up with relationships and people because nowadays texting is like the main form of communication. You learned early on after graduating high school that individuality is a real thing, and everyone is not bound to each other like you thought in high school, where everyone was everywhere and it was just easily accessible. Now you're living your own life while everyone else lives theirs, and you have to try and find a day where every single one of you can sync up and actually do something. With that comes your fear of rejection, because you don't like introducing ideas to people and you immediately just jump to the answer of no. But just yesterday, you hung out with those friends that you've been wanting to hang out with for a straight year, and it was probably one of the best days you've had in a while. You were really open. You were really, really zany, quirky, wild, which I do not do with myself very often. How are you with that? Do you like yourself a bit more than you do now? Anytime someone brings up like self-confidence and everything, I think I always bring up the fact that I used to not like myself at all a year ago, and now I kind of do. I see why people can find any kind of enjoyment out of me, and any kind of joke that I make about me being amazing is kind of just laced in sarcasm, because I know I'm not shit. But I also do believe that if I were to live the way I want with like no second thought, I think I would be way more of a cooler person than I think I am now. Have you made any new friends? How have you been keeping up with the old ones, if you do still? I can imagine you're gonna make a lot of friends when you go on campus for the first time, because now you have to, and the pandemic is not coming to a close, actually. Crazy, right? How is the pandemic doing for you? Is COVID over? It's been 2 years since then, right? 3, whatever. There's a lot of panic about a new variant, the Delta variant. I don't know how that's gonna go. I have not been paying attention to any kind of media like that, but I think it might bite me back, because it might come to me. Who knows? Have you died to Corona? Oh, Jesus. Is college life doing you any good? You got a car. So how is that? Did it fuck up anytime soon? Is it gonna fuck up anytime soon after I record this and upload, finish? Have you had any spicy moments in that said car? I'm only doing it just to manifest. I'm going way too fast. I don't know where I'm going with this. I have this literally just unscripted. Have you finally gone through with those passion projects that you've been talking about for at least 3 years? You know that you've been terrified at the thought of opening up, because that's really what it is. It's opening up. You've been working on that for quite a while. You find it very hard to talk about things, so you kind of just try and express it through any other kind of form of ways of expressing it. If the guitar's run a dead giveaway, do you do music now? Have you actually released something? Have you like done something and not sit in your room and kind of just wallow at the thought of doing it, because the thought of it is so nice and you rather live through other people's moments than your own? How have you been keeping yourself busy? At the moment, you kind of just come back from work, or you wake up and just kind of consume media for like 6 hours straight, and you either pass out or do the worst. I think what I hope you've kind of overcome somewhat is the fear of judgment. I saw this Gary Vee video, and he was like, some people, what stops them is like the sense of judgment, and that he said, you're out of high school, act like it. And yeah, you don't feel like that. How is family? Tell me family. Give me all the family details. How is mom? Has she achieved at least 5 of her aspirations? How is your relationship with her doing? Because it's kind of it's seesaw at the moment. How is Julian, your brother? Is he doing something? I don't know. What have you guys done? If I'm assuming you're not separated, moving somewhere, I don't know. How have you been Hello? Hi, Chris, how are you? I'm alright. Bye, love you. That was your mother. See, this is a part I don't want to delve into, because this is sensitive and people watch this. He can watch this. I hope he's doing good. I hope he's doing more than good. I hope you're helping him do good, because God knows people need a support system nowadays. How's your dad? How's he holding up? What has he been doing? Has he changed jobs? Whatever the fuck. Tell me everything. How is she doing? You know what I'm talking about. You made a video about a said relationship with this woman, and you were afraid of posting it, going back to how... Jesus Christ. Thank you for stopping me. Fuck me. Nothing can go right. Everything has to happen when I'm doing something. Relationship status. Have you? That's literally it. At the moment, you find it hard to try and connect to anyone else other than the person that you've sank the thought deep in your mind that you would never, ever be without someone like that person. I think now you kind of can get over that, and you're really open to talking, but you're also struggling to even act on it. You've made attempts, just does not work out, and you kind of get demotivated to even try again. So you'd rather just silently crush on people that will probably never, ever give that single thought of reciprocation, ever. Love is not important to you, though, at the moment. I hope it's not the driving force of your life, but I hope that it's still present in any other way that's not romantic. I hope you back someone that's, like, worth it, though, because God knows desperation is clinging. How are you with self-care? Do you exercise more? I know you're really self-conscious about going to the gym and everything. You've also been trying to do workouts at home, even though it's not like a long routine. You just kind of do a single set of something and then you stop for the rest of the day. But that's progress nonetheless. I want to see how much you've been doing since then. Where do you work at now? What do you do? Have you accomplished any other kind of multimedia project that's not relating to music at all? Have you made connections? What are some friends that you thought you would never make, and I would be excited to even have the thought of meeting in the future? You've been kind of comfortable with being alone, and you don't even see it as like a bad thing. But it also kind of is a bad thing once you realize that the second that you get the idea of hanging out with someone, you kind of just don't want to do it. And it takes you doing it to realize that this wasn't so bad. And then they become a really, really important person in your life. How many of those experiences have you went through to actually get a good, decent group of friends now, then? Fuck. How is your work ethic? That is something that I struggle with. As I said before, my days are usually the same. So what have you done to make it slightly better? Including school. Because God knows that you are fucking terrible at trying to keep up with deadlines. I just hope nothing terrible happens to you. Well, if you don't fix some things that you've been putting off, like now, you probably are going to be going through shit. But you live and learn, I think. How are your online friends? Do you guys still kind of, talk and game every now and then? Because you started doing that late 2020, and it worked until things just kind of stopped again. It's inevitable. You guys are like different states and everything, but it'd be nice to at least have people to play with, because that is loads of fun with the right people. How's Roman? Roman is one of my best friends, one that I consistently talk to about anything, and I share way too much than I usually do, especially in this video. You guys still get along? I hope you guys do. This is the longest I've ever talked to him since I left the internet. I'm running out of questions. I'm running out of the thoughts to give. I hope that you're somewhat happy with yourself. I hope you're not... I hope you've learned how to manage your social anxiety and your attentiveness to your circle, because you're not really good at that yet. Anything exciting going on? Are you excited about something that you've been working on? What are you working on right now? How is the new channel going? Because I am not very consistent when it comes to it, and I kind of know that I won't be for a little bit, because things kind of just run dry after I drop something. Imagining is pretty fun, but actually getting to it, I think, would be a great skill that you would probably need to pertain to this time around. The first video on the channel was something that you've kind of enjoyed just making, And right after you finished it, it kind of was just like a big relief that it's like finally fucking over with. But then now you kind of wish that you're still working on it because it gave you something to do. And don't get me wrong, I'm still doing stuff. But I hope you're doing way more with your time and not just lolling around doing absolutely nothing. How has your style developed? I know that you've picked up trying to buy clothes in like the late 2020, and now you're just starting to, invest in your appearance, and now you've become super obsessed with your appearance and looking good for other people. Regardless of how that is, you still feel great when it comes to putting together an outfit or bless me. I know that dressing up is kind of another way that you express yourself, and appearance, oh my god, one of the main things that you kind of thrive off of, as anyone really does anyways. I don't have much to say, actually. It's kind of hard to try and imagine a different life when I've been living the same one for like a solid year now. I'm trying to manifest the future of building more connections that I do have now, and I hope that once I do start and get to putting my name out there a little bit more, and just doing me on the internet and whatever, or any kind of facet of entertainment, I hope that I can look back and answer this with the most excited expression. I do not want to look back at this and then think like, oh man. And if I didn't do anything since then, I'm probably not going to make a response video, and this video is useless. You have so many ideas, man. Like, so many. You've kind of gotten over the idea of those ideas being kind of dumb or whatever, and you've just been itching for a method of expression because you cannot really put your feelings into words. And anytime you have a somewhat serious conversation with someone, it kind of just ends up being just the most difficult thing, because you stop yourself because you sound really fucking weird for trying to word these things. That's my cat, by the way. How is Lola doing once more? Smell my finger. Smell my finger. Smell my finger. Bitch. That's all I have for you. I'm pretty worried about how much I'm gonna cut out of this video, because oversharing is probably the one thing I hate doing. I'd love to keep a mystique about myself, even though no one really cares, which is another thing I learned while adulting. I'm be 19. I remember wanting to be 18 for so long, and now I wish that I was 16 again, living that life that I once lived. And how are you dealing with the past? Like, are you better off without it? I think I kind of look at it like a movie to go back on, and not necessarily sulk about it, but to remember that it's not impossible to get to that point again. And that point can be any other thing except any other thing that's not what that was. Yeah. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've proved a lot of people wrong about what you're capable of. I hope you prove yourself a lot wrong of what you're truly capable of, because you are known to self-doubt to the fullest. But sometimes it ends up just being it's just all you and not really the actual reality of everything. So that's all I have for you. I hope you can drink safely, if you even do drink, because I thought alcohol was like the most disgusting thing when I smelled it every time my dad showed me around. Crack open a cold one before you watch it. I think I'm bad that I'm telling you this at the end of the video. I forgot that I can drink at the time. Don't tell me if anyone died. Don't tell me if you've hit rock bottom. I don't want to hear anything bad. You better be living. My last day of being 18, which I'm not terrified, but just the thought of how I'm going to respond in 2 years to this is concerning enough, because now it really matters. Whatever.